She stood frozen at the gate, her sick little boy wrapped in a thin blue blanket, coughing softly against her shoulder, while the man she had married 10 years ago walked away without even turning back. He didn't know that the woman he just abandoned in front of a crowded airport terminal owned the very airline whose planes were lined up outside that window. He was about to learn the most painful lesson of his life, and it would happen in front of everyone. Before we continue this story, if you believe in the power of kindness, hit that subscribe button and tap the like icon so more stories like this reach your feed. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from, because your voice matters here. And if this is your first time with us, welcome to Kindness Echoes, where every story reminds us that compassion still changes lives. Her name was Danielle, and for years she had lived a quiet double life. To her husband Marcus, she was just Danny, a woman who worked long hours at some corporate job downtown. She never bragged, never flaunted a title, never mentioned the meetings with boards or the mornings spent reviewing flight safety reports. She simply came home every night, kissed her son Elijah on the forehead, and asked Marcus about his day. She believed love should never be measured by what you own, only by how you treat the people beside you. But Marcus had grown restless. Somewhere between promotions he didn't get and a marriage he stopped nurturing, he convinced himself that Danielle was holding him back. He met a woman named Vanessa at a work conference, a woman who wore designer heels and dropped hints about real ambition. Marcus began comparing his quiet, humble wife to a version of success that glittered instead of grounded. He told himself he deserved more, forgetting that more was already sitting at his dinner table every single night. The day everything shattered began at the airport. Elijah, only 6 years old, had been running a high fever for 2 days. Danielle had booked an emergency flight to see a specialist in another city, praying it wasn't something serious. Marcus agreed to come, but the entire ride there he seemed distracted, checking his phone, sighing when Elijah cried from discomfort. At the gate, surrounded by rushing travelers and blinking flight boards, Marcus finally said the words he had been rehearsing for weeks, "Danny, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. I've met someone who actually makes me feel alive." Danielle didn't scream. She didn't beg. She simply held her son tighter, her eyes glistening but her spine straight, because breaking down was a luxury she couldn't afford in that moment. Marcus turned and walked toward the arrivals area where Vanessa was waiting, dressed in blue, confident and glowing, ready to be introduced to his parents who had flown in that same day to meet the woman who made him happy. What Marcus didn't know was that the airline announcement crackling over the intercom moments later would change everything. "Attention passengers, due to a mechanical delay, Windward Air regrets the inconvenience and will be issuing priority rebooking." Windward Air. The airline Danielle had built from nothing over 12 years, starting as a regional cargo service and growing into a $10 billion company that flew families safely across the country every day. She had kept her identity private, not out of shame, but because she wanted to be loved for her heart, not her bank account. As Marcus proudly walked his parents and Vanessa toward the first-class lounge, a Windward Air gate agent recognized Danielle immediately and rushed over. "Mrs. Carter, we didn't know you'd be flying commercial today. Let me get you and your son into the executive suite right away." The words rippled through the crowd. Heads turned. Marcus froze mid-sentence, his mouth open, his parents staring in confusion, and Vanessa's smile fading into stunned silence. Danielle didn't gloat. She simply knelt down, comforted Elijah, and thanked the staff gently before walking toward the private lounge with quiet dignity. She could have humiliated Marcus in front of everyone. She could have listed every sacrifice she made, every late night she covered for his failures, every dream she gave up so their family could stay afloat. Instead, she chose grace. Before leaving, she turned back only once and said softly, "I hope you find whatever it is you're searching for, Marcus. I already found peace." Then she walked away, her son's small hand wrapped safely in hers. Word of what happened spread quickly, not because Danielle sought attention, but because a stranger nearby had filmed the moment and shared it online with the caption, "This is what real strength looks like." Millions of people watched a woman absorb heartbreak with grace instead of revenge. Comments poured in from mothers, from strangers who had been abandoned too, from people who admired how she chose kindness over cruelty even when cruelty would have been so easy. In the months that followed, Danielle didn't change who she was. She still tucked Elijah in every night, still greeted her employees by name, still funded scholarships for single parents returning to school. Marcus, on the other hand, watched his new relationship crumble once the excitement faded into reality, realizing too late what steady love actually felt like. This story isn't about revenge or triumph over someone who wronged you. It's about the quiet power of staying kind even when the world gives you every reason not to be. Danielle didn't need anger to prove her strength, her composure was proof enough. So the next time life tempts you to lash out, remember her at that gate, holding her son, choosing grace. Kindness never needs an audience to be powerful, but somehow, it always finds one. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs a reminder today, and keep spreading kindness wherever you go.